UFC 316 is this weekend, boys, and honestly, it's a solid pay-per-view, nothing too crazy relatively here, but man, I'm excited as hell for it because you know and I know that May was a really rough month for fight fans in a lot of regards, so honestly, 316 and just kicking off June the way it is with a bunch of stacked cards, man, it is a breath of fresh air. So today I'm going to be giving y'all my full card predictions for UFC 316 here, man. So just starting off with the first fight we got here, man, prospect versus prospect here, alright, both have 8-1 records. Salkilld from Australia taking on Ashmouz. Definitely botched that name, but my pick here is going to be Salkilld, okay? I understand, again, they have similar records, okay? They're both relatively impressive here, but honestly, I'm a lot more impressed out of what I see out of Salkilld, and there's a reason why he's one of the biggest favorites on the card, okay? I'm really impressed by this dude, man. He's really young for the weight class, but honestly, he's a pretty good frame. He's standing at 6 feet tall. He's going to have a 6 feet or a 6-inch reach of 6 feet. Jesus Christ, like he's a goddamn gorilla. He's going to have a 6-inch reach advantage here over Ashmouz, man. And just in general, I feel like there is a bit of a skill gap here. Yes, similar records here in general, but, and I understand from Ashmouz, you know, the only loss that he's really taken here is to Chris Duncan. That's not even that bad of a loss, man. Duncan is solid in his own rights. And again, he beat Trevor Peek, had a nice flashy knockout for his debut. So Ashmouz, you know, a little bit more experience in the UFC, but it's nothing too crazy. Salkilld, I believe this is his second appearance in the UFC, had a pretty impressive debut over Do You Redeem, Sir? All right, at UFC 312, man. And while it wasn't the greatest caliber of opponent in general, when you look at his Contender Series performance for Salkilld, when you look at just the fights and the performances in general he's been having on the come up, he seems well-rounded in all regards. He's a powerful striker, pretty dynamic, but he also knows how to mix it up on the ground, and he does have solid wrestling. I mean, the Contender Series debut alone, man, he landed like 10 fucking takedowns on the dude. So I'm impressed out of what I see out of Salkilld. He seems pretty comfortable in all scenarios. Like, he doesn't seem too freaked out when he's in uncomfortable positions or scrambles or just like situations he doesn't want to be in. He's not necessarily freaking the fuck out. You know what I mean? He seems comfortable in all regards, and I'm going to trust in him here, okay? Ashmouz, he is a good fighter. He is solid in his own right, okay? But when I'm looking at the betting odds, when I'm looking at the reach and height advantage, and when I'm looking at the skill gap, honestly, I'm going to be more trusting in Salkilld to get this one done, either by a decision, 29-28, or a round 2 knockout, all right? I know that's a fucking night and day, but you know what I'm saying. Moving on up next, man, to Saragih taking on Sang Yu. I'm not even gonna bullshit y'all. I really don't know too much about these two dudes here, but my pick is gonna be Sang Yu. I'm just really not liking the record of Saragih. I'm not liking the little bits of clips and footages. I'm not even fucking speaking English anymore, but the fights from what I've seen, okay, and the clips from what I've seen from Saragih, man, it's nothing too crazy. He got finished by Jubilee, and that alone says a lot. You look at that 14-4 record versus the 8-0 undefeated Sang Yu, and just in general, Sang Yu seems like a pretty good striker. Seems like he has some solid power behind his shots. And again, I'm not too familiar with this fight here. Both these guys are really similar in age and statures, but I'm gonna be trusting in Sang Yu to get this one done. Just seems like the superior fighter, seems like the superior striker, and in general, this is kind of just a bit of a jabroni matchup here, but Sang Yu has the potential to go get a flashy knockout and make a statement for his UFC debut. So I'm gonna be trusted in that. Moving on up next to Ariana De Silva taking on Cong. For those that are familiar with the channel, I really don't got dick to say about WMMA, but for this one, I'm trusting in Cong. It was a little bit of a lackluster performance in her last time out. I forgot which card she fought on or whatever. It was sometime around February or March. But in general, man, like, she's still 7-1. She's still the girl that was, you know, making it competitive or beat Shevchenko in kickboxing on the come up. I don't remember what the fuck it was. I'm sorry. All right, I don't know too much here. But Cong, man, she's a good fucking striker. I understand that her ground skills, that's kind of the hole in her game, okay? She can get kind of exposed down there. Recently did take a loss right before her past performance. I forgot who it was, some Brazilian chick. I'm sorry, I don't fucking know here. I'm gonna be going with Cong. I feel like she's just gonna be the superior fighter here. De Silva is 17-10, and Cong, man, solid power behind her shots. She's a good striker. And again, the UFC kind of wants to have her make her way to the top, so I'm going to be trusted in that. Moving on up next, man, entering the opening for the prelims here. All right, we have Khaos Williams. He was originally going to be facing Eros Medic. That was a pretty solid scrap, but now in steps the badass of all badasses. All right, we got Andreas Gustaffson making his UFC debut. My prediction here, you know what? I'm going to go with Khaos Williams, okay? Both these guys are primarily power strikers. Like, when these guys go to the distance, it's nothing too crazy, especially for Chaos Williams, man. Like, if he's not getting that flashy knockout or whatever, if he's not finding all the right shots and taking your fucking lights out, man, there really isn't too much to his skill set. Like, yes, he goes the distance once in a while, but they're usually just kind of lackluster wins or performances. I feel like his grappling is just nowhere near to the level of his striking. I think he's just recently coming off a submission loss to Gabriel Bonfim. And don't get me wrong, Bonfim is very fucking slick on the ground, really good with submission entries, all that shit, yada yada. But Chaos Williams, man, he's simply just beatable. And again, don't get me wrong, the people that he's losing to, they're kind of relatively solid. Like losing to Michel Pereira, you know, say whatever the fuck you want about Mr. Cardiac Arrest himself, but still, Michel Pereira was on a tear when he was beating up Chaos Williams, and then he lost to Randy Brown. We obviously know how good Randy Brown's striking is, and he's on a great run right now. And then again, the loss to Gabriel Bonfim. Other than that, Chaos Williams is going out there and he's getting flashy fucking knockouts, really earning performance bonuses, or he's going to these random just split decisions or lackluster decisions. So Chaos Williams' striking is good. He has good power, but I'm just really not impressed too much by the things in his skill set here, all right? He's not too well-rounded of a fighter, really just relies on finding all the right shots and getting that knockout, and if it doesn't go his way, again, it kind of goes rough for him sometimes. But he's losing to a similar kind of caliber of opponent here. I would say Pereira, Brown, and Bonfim, you can kind of all say they're probably around similar skill levels, like relatively, that they're kind of right there outside the rankings or barely into it, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Williams is all right, solid striker, and you have Andreas Gustaffson. He's going to be making his debut here. He's also a power puncher. He has a couple submissions on his record, but really he's primarily a striker. He has good power. He's got an 11-2 record, which is pretty impressive, but again, making his UFC debut here, so we're going to find out a lot about him, representing the Swedes, baby. But in general, we have power puncher versus power puncher with, you know, not too much else in their arsenal here, but because it's a debut situation here and Williams was kind of prepping for Medic, who I feel like is a higher caliber of opponent here, and I don't know, just Gustafson making his UFC debut, not too familiar with him, but again, seems like a good striker, powerful guy. Maybe this and hopefully this ends in a finish, but I do see a solid chance where it ends in a dud of a decision, but who knows? I'm going to be trusting in Chaos Williams here, okay? But honestly, I can see Gustafson maybe getting it done. Moving on, up next here, man, to Sergey Spivac versus Waldo Cortes-Acosta, okay? Every fight from here on out for the card, I feel like are pretty good matchmaking, pretty solid scrap, so this is where 316 really starts to come together, okay? My prediction here, I'm going with the very slight underdog in Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Now listen, man, Sergey Spivac, he's a great fighter, but in general, I'm just not too fucking amazed with the guy, okay? There's a reason why you have the top 6, you have like the Almeidas, the Volkovs, the Gans, the Blades, and then you have number 7, I believe it is, right there in Sergey Spivac, and then you go to Tybura and shit, the gatekeepers of all gatekeepers, the Apex Hall of Famers, and man, heavyweight is just a shallow as fuck division. It's really just such a fall off from number 6 to number 7 here, and number 7 being Spivac. Man, the guy is a good grappler, don't get me wrong, and I feel like he could beat a lot of the guys kind of outside of that top 6. I feel like he gets smoked by everybody else, but in general, like, if he's not dealing with a very high caliber level of opponent here, I mean, for heavyweight standards, you know what I'm fucking saying, then I feel like Spivac has a really good chance of beating him, okay? Like, his submission game is really fucking good, his grappling is really good, he's got some pretty good takedown accuracy, pretty good top control in general, he's got good ground and pound. The guy is good on the ground, but honestly, he does struggle off of his back, and he can kind of struggle with just early pressure from fighters. If he's dealing with somebody who has a lot of knockout power or is a pressure fighter, especially once, you know, getting right out the gate, that is kind of his fucking kryptonite here, okay? His striking just isn't it, man. He kind of does rely on the grappling here, okay? And again, even on the ground, like, if it is someone at least talented enough to hold their own, you know what I mean, especially defensively, that could be problems for a guy like fucking Sergey Spivac here. And you have Waldo Cortes-Acosta, who I'm going to be going with. Man, can we just get a fucking heavyweight prospect here? Can we actually just get somebody in heavyweight who's not just some blob? Well, Cortes-Acosta is a blob, all right? He's the goddamn BK Employee of the Year here. But in general, like, he's got an 11-1 record. He's 4-1 in the UFC. Can we please just have a fucking prospect? Taliesin Teixeira is getting already fucking rushed. And then you had Johanita Diniz. He just got shut down by Martin Tybura. For the love of God, can we get something or somebody fucking going here for heavyweight? I think that Cortes-Acosta, I know he's a slight underdog, and I know that he's actually older than Spivac by a couple of years, which you wouldn't fucking guess, but he really is, man. But for heavyweight, age doesn't matter too much when you're still in your early 30s or whatever. But Waldo Cortes-Acosta, I feel like, I don't want to say he's a nightmare matchup for Spivac, because he's not, you know what I mean? But I feel like his strengths are the things that Sergey Spivac does struggle with. Like, on the ground, his grappling is pretty solid, okay? Defensively as well. And then he is a pretty good boxer, especially for heavyweight standards. And he does have good power. He's coming off of a nasty fucking knockout win over Ryan Spann. I understand not the greatest caliber of opponent, but it's fucking heavyweight, my boys. We're dealing with what we get here. So in general, the guy has clean, crisp boxing, okay? A little sloppy at times, a little slow at times, but for heavyweight, it's pretty good. And he also has a kind of a high output as well. So, and he kind of usually is the pressure fighter there. He kind of knows how to control the pace, maintain the distance, but isn't afraid to get in the pocket as well. So honestly, the striking advantage is clearly going to go to Waldo Cortes-Acosta. The grappling advantage is clearly going to go to Spivac. But when I'm looking at it, man, don't get me wrong, like Cortes-Acosta, there are holes in his game. Like, he still does have improvements to make in the clinch. His fight IQ can be a little bit low at times. He doesn't always have like the crazy one-punch knockout power, you know what I mean? Sometimes he can struggle a bit with elite enough grapplers, and that is Sergey Spivac. But again, these guys gonna have these little edges over each other, to where Waldo Cortes-Acosta, I'm gonna be going with a unanimous decision here, maybe like a 29-28, or like a round 3 knockout or something like that. I don't fucking know, but Cortes-Acosta, man, I'm going to trust in the boxing. I'm going to trust in him being the pressure fighter, especially earlier on in the fight. Spivac, if this fight goes to the ground, it's clearly going to favor him, but again, there's just enough holes in his game, and Cortes-Acosta is a bit of a dangerous enough matchup for him. You know, these guys are pretty similar in statures and in age and shit like that, so if it comes down to skill for skill, I'm going to trust in heavyweight actually fucking having a prospect here, okay? I'm going to be going with Cortes-Acosta to take this one. Like I said, 29-28 decision or a round 3 knockout here, okay? But I do like this matchmaking, to be honest with you. It's a classic kind of striker versus grappler thing we got going on here. Moving on, up next to Azamat Murzakanov, all right? This guy is like the forbidden love child of like Grimace and a goddamn orca whale, all right? He's going to be taking on Brenson Ribeiro here. I'm going to be going with Murzakanov, okay? He was originally going to face Johnny Walker. I thought he was going to knock his ass out. And with Brenson Ribeiro, listen, don't get me wrong. He does have a solid win streak he's on right now. He's not a bad fighter by any means, okay? But taking this fight on short-ish notice here, he's got a 17-7 record. He is prone to getting caught to big shots, okay? In the past few fights, yes, he's getting wins, but he's not necessarily facing big power punchers, okay? The knockout loss he does have in the UFC is to Zhang Min Yang. And honestly, I feel like his power might be a little bit better than Murzakanov's, you know what I mean? But we got to see how that goes. But in general, like, the striking and the power is pretty fucking a similar level, and I feel like Ribeiro, he just leaves himself open, okay? He's vulnerable to big shots, and he's gonna want to, I feel like this fight is gonna kind of play out on the feet. It's primarily gonna be a striking battle here. Murzakanov is just undefeated, and again, if I'm picking him to knock out Walker, I don't rate Walker too crazy, don't get me wrong, but I definitely think that Walker is a higher caliber of opponent than fucking Ribeiro here. And again, this is a Murzakanov that was gonna be facing Nikita Krylov at UFC 309. That fight fell through, and now he's going to face Walker. So relatively, this is a big step down to what he was expecting here, and I'm just going to be going with him by knockout, man. He's a good pressure fighter. He's really good on the feet, okay? Yes, he's a blob, but he's a good fucking blob, man. And the grappling isn't anything too crazy or whatever. We rarely see it in general, but man, the knockout power is fucking insane, and the guy is a good striker here. Excellent for a blob, all right? And Brenson Ribeiro, I just see him getting caught with all the right shots. I could see him getting knocked the fuck out. Don't get me wrong, man. All right, like, I can't even bullshit. I can't see him getting this one done, man. It's just his record isn't anything impressive. His skill set isn't anything too impressive here. And Murzakanov is on an absolute fucking tear, really itching to get back inside the cage, really looking to make a statement. And with the insane fucking power that he does have here, all right, and he's the S-tier blob, I'm going to be going with him to take this one, man. I say a round 2 knockout here from Murzakanov, man. He's just the more impressive fighter, in my opinion, by fucking miles here. And he's undefeated 14-0. You know what I mean? So I'm really going to be trusting in that. I think this guy can go very far for the division. I'm going to be going with Murzakanov by KO round 2. Moving on, up next here, man, to close out the prelims. We got Bruno Silva versus my boy, my favorite motherfucking flyweight, Joshua Van. I'm going with Joshua Van all day, okay? When these guys were scheduled to fight the first time, I think it was UFC 313, I would have went with Van anyways, but then Ray Saruya stepped in there, and that was a really big test for the grappling for Joshua Van, who is a guy who, man, he might be lacking in knockout power. He might be small for the division, which is flyweight. It says a lot. We can't exactly have him fucking facing Shevchenko next and shit down a weight class. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Or is it strawweight? Dude, I don't even fucking know. You know what I mean? All right. The dude will be an S tier atomweight. But in general, I understand there's a few things to be concerned about with Joshua Van. But man, he is good as fuck, bro. He has the highest output, like literally the highest amount of significant strides per minute in the UFC right now. So very high output. A lot of people, he kind of gets like flyweight, Max Holloway comparisons. Hey, it is what it is, brother. You know, we're going to find out on June 7th. Yeah, there we go. Botched the fuck out of that one for you. But in general, man, this guy's a really good striker. Yes, he does lack in the power department, and that could be a concern, especially for when he faces the upper echelon of the division. But Bruno Silva just ain't anything crazy, man. He's got a 14-6 record. He's coming off of a brutal fucking beating to Manel Kopp. And in general, this guy just is beatable, man. Like, he's one of those fighters where it's like, oh, he's still ranked. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, Bruno Silva's still in the fucking rankings. You know what I mean? So the guy is solid, like solidly well-rounded. He is a fine striker, solid striker, you know what I mean? Especially, I guess, for flyweight standards. But Joshua Van, I feel like, is going to show a fucking different kind of level on the feet here. He's fought the much more elite grappler in Ray Saruya, and his takedown defense looked fucking good, man. His defensive grappling in general, like even for when Saruya was putting him in uncomfortable positions or did get him down, like fucking the defensive grappling, he's so efficient with just getting the fuck back up to his feet, man. So Joshua Van, he's young as hell too, only 23 years old, and meanwhile you have Bruno Silva, who's 35, and flyweight works like fucking dog years, so he's basically a goddamn 80-year-old for the division. You know what I mean? So Joshua Van, I feel like, just has all the advantages here, man. Okay, there's a reason why this guy is one of the biggest favorites on the card. I feel like if this fight does go to the ground, Joshua Van is clearly going to be able to hold his own on the defensive end. Even he might shoot a few fucking takedowns. His offensive grappling, we have seen a little bit of sneak peeks in it here and there, you know what I mean? Not too much, but the dude knows how to get the fuck after it on the ground, offensively and defensively. His striking, I feel like, is going to be a level above Silva, who is prone to big shots. I feel like he's going to be a little bit slower. I feel like Joshua Van, again, does lack a bit in the knockout power department, but man, maybe he can get a fucking TKO by pure volume here, okay? He's going to set a very high pace and pressure from early on in the fight. I feel like he's going to be finding all the right shots. Silva's probably going to be able to hold his own in the early goings of the fight. I feel like through rounds 1 and 2, maybe it'll be kind of a back and forth on the feet, shit like that, but Van is still going to, I feel like, be outpointing him and landing the better and bigger shots. And then round 3, I think it's going to be a TKO for Joshua Van. I see a round 3 TKO here. I feel like he's got all the advantages in the world. Like, yes, lacks power. Yes, like, not the craziest grappler in the world, but it's looking fucking good. And yes, he is a bit small for the weight class. I'm going to be going with him to take this one. I'm an absolutely huge fucking fan of this guy, man. Absolutely huge. I think that he's going to go really far for the division. He has a really high ceiling. Again, he's young as fuck and already is racking up a lot of experience in the UFC and getting wins as well, man. Okay, like, I understand he did get knocked out by Charles Johnson, but Charles Johnson is a good fucking striker and he does have solid pop behind his shots. And again, this is a Van that was like 22 or even maybe like 21 at the time. So in general, Joshua Van has everything you want. Very high output. He's active as fuck as well. He's active as all fuck. He just fought in December, just fought in March, you know what I mean? Again, multiple times last year. So the guy hasn't been in the UFC for very long, but he's already like 5-1. So Joshua Van, man, I'm a huge fan of this guy. I think he's going to go really far. I don't just mean to make this prediction a goddamn Joshua Glaze session. I just really don't have too many things to say about Silva here because I just think that this is going to be one of those, I don't want to say an absolute masterclass marauder of a performance from Van, but again, there's a reason he's such a big fucking favorite here, and I don't rate Silva too highly. Solid fighter, solid striking. He can hang in there with certain guys, but he's more so of a win one, lose one kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? And again, that 14-6 record versus one of the best up-and-comers that flyweight has, and Joshua Van, I'm going with Van all day. All right, I say round 3 TKO, man, but that's going to be closing out the prelims here. Moving on up next, boys, to the main card opener here. We got Kevin Holland taking on Vicente Luque here. I feel like this is going to be a barn burner regardless, but honestly, I'm going with Kevin Holland, okay? I've had a little bit of a streak, all right? A little bit of a streak where I have been predicting the last 5 or 6 Holland fights in a row, and I'm going to be going with him to take this one as well. Listen, I know a lot of people say that, like, you never know which version of Kevin Holland is going to show up. I think that's just a bit of the parlays in you talking, okay? You're just a little bit upset that Kevin Holland, he does make low fight IQ decisions at times. He doesn't really give a fuck out there sometimes, okay? But in general, I don't think it's like a matter of you don't know which version of Holland's going to show up. I think the same version that Kevin Holland shows up every time. I feel like he's just winning and losing to about a similar level of caliber of competition. You know what I'm saying? So Vicente Luque, though, man, all of that keeping into account, I don't understand why he's this big of an underdog. Or more so, I guess I should say, I don't understand why Holland is this big of a favorite. He's like a minus 250, minus 225, around that range from what I'm looking at right now. And man, I'm think that he's definitely going to get it done, but I'm not super confident in it. You know what I mean? It's not even to doubt Holland's skill set. Like, by all means, he should get this one done, and I really like him at welterweight. I think it's a good move for him. Middleweight, man, it's too much in the fucking air. I think those guys are too big for him. I think they hit just solidly harder, man, than the guys at welterweight. Not that welterweights don't have really good knockout power, okay, and they are quicker for sure, but I think the mold just fits Holland better. But man, Luque can totally fucking get this one done, and I wouldn't be too goddamn surprised about it. So I feel like the betting odds are a bit misleading there, but yeah, I'm going with Kevin Holland to take this one regardless. Long rangy striker, he's got good knockout power, okay, rocked Gunnar Nelson in that last fight in the first round and then proceeded to just piece him the fuck up over the next couple of rounds. And in general, the thing about Holland is he's honestly solidly well-rounded. Like I just said, like, he's long rangy, his striking is good, he has good finishing ability on the feet and on the ground, man. Like, he knows how to mix it up really well. He has good grappling, he has a really good jiu-jitsu base. Just in general, like, wherever the fight is, whether it's on the feet, whether it's on the ground, whether it's in the first round of the fight or the fourth or the fifth, whatever the fuck, alright? I do think that Kevin Holland, he is pretty comfortable everywhere. He's solidly well-rounded. I just think the thing is he's not super great anywhere specifically, and hence why I don't think he's going to be one of those guys, alright? That he's really going to ever make it to like that top 5 level, but he still is a good fighter, you know what I mean? Dynamic on the feet, really good front kicks, good elbows as well, and he has a good chin, man, so it's really hard to finish Kevin Holland in terms of the striking, okay? He can get submitted here and there. Chimaev submitted him, RDR submitted him, shit like that, but to really be able to knock out Kevin Holland, you know what I mean? It's a really fucking tough thing to do, alright? Yes, he can get finished, okay, in all regards, but in general, it's tough to get him out of there. Beating him is another thing entirely. Like, yes, he can get beaten. He does struggle with, I feel like, pretty heavy pressure fighters. I feel like, talking about the RDA performance, I feel like that was a recent one where RDR right out of the gate was putting heavy pressure on him and really trying to take the fight to the ground, really aiming for the fucking submission, and he ended up getting it. So Chimaev, same thing, not just to call it the grapplers here, but if you're a heavy pressure fighter, I feel like that is a big challenge for Kevin Holland, whether it be on the feet or on the ground. Like, look at the Mikhail Alisejczuk fight. Like, yes, he ultimately fucking beat his ass in one round, but dude, Alisejczuk rocked him and knocked him down, and because he was just heavily getting the fuck after it and gas to the goddamn pedal, or pedal the fucking metal right away, you know what I'm saying? So he can struggle with shit like that at times if somebody does throw big pressure at him, alright? And they're really just dictating the pace and flow of the fight, controlling where the fight goes, shit like that. And the takedown defense, it can be a bit inconsistent. Sometimes, like I'm saying earlier, like, he can be a bit too relaxed in there and just very unserious mid-fight. It's the same motherfucker that shows up every time, alright? But let's see how serious he takes this one. But in general, man, there's lapses in his judgment. There's a lot of ways to beat him here, but it is kind of a tough out, alright? He's one of those, I don't even want to say gatekeeper, because I don't think that's what it is. I mean, both these guys are in a pretty similar position, alright? They're hanging out there in the very bottom of the rankings, or Holland's trying to get back into it, and they have just a shit ton of experience combined, man, in their pro fights. So Luque as well, man, I've kind of been talking about Holland for most of this, but why I think Luque really can get it done. He is a fucking pressure fighter. He will get the fuck after it right away, and he knows how to maintain a solid pace throughout the fight, and he's durable as all hell. He can definitely crack for sure. He does have some nasty KO power here and there, but in general, he can fucking take a shot. Like, yes, it's possible to beat Luque, alright? A lot of people have fucking done it, you know what I mean? He's kind of in this position right now where he's kind of winning one fight, losing 2 fights, winning 1 fight, shit like that, you know what I mean? So maybe even not that bad, but you know what I'm saying? Like, Luque has been on this kind of a skid where, yes, he's coming off of a really good submission win over Themba Gorimbo. Don't get me fucking wrong, alright? Poor Nick Diaz was gonna get fucking thrown in there, but I know people forget, man, but in general, like, Luque is still getting wins. He's not the oldest fighter in the world. He's still in it. I feel like Kevin Holland is probably going to have the speed advantage here, at least on the feet, but man, like, I think Luque's striking is solid enough and he's durable enough, you know, and he is a big pressure fighter to where I can see him being comfortable getting in the pocket with Kevin Holland and taking his biggest shots and not being afraid of getting fucking slept. Now, there's a chance that might fucking happen, but I don't know, man. Luque, on top of having solid striking, man, the submission skills are clearly fucking there. He's got a good Darce, and he's very composed under the fire in general. So, comfortable on the feet, comfortable on the ground, good submission entries, but he also has KO power. The weaknesses here, I feel like, for Kevin, or not, fuck, I'm mixing up the goddamn names like they're doing a fusion dance. Vicente Luque, man, he does get hit a lot. Like I'm saying, he is durable. I've said it 100 times already, but he is very prone to getting hit with big shots. He is very prone to guys. Like, if Kevin Holland wants to go ahead have high output for this one. If Kevin Holland is controlling the pace and the flow of the fight, controlling wherever the fuck it goes, I feel like that's going to be a problem for him, because even when Vicente Luque is winning, he's taking a fucking solid amount of damage. You know what I mean? He's not the fastest as well, so I feel like I said, Holland is going to have the speed advantage here. And yes, he does have good submissions, and yes, he has good grappling offensively and defensively, but man, he can get out grappled by elite enough grapplers. So in general, man, I'm going to be going with Kevin Holland to get this one done. I think he gets it done by decision. I don't think he's going to be able to really take the lights out of Luque, but I could totally see him getting it done. But in general, I'm going to be going with Kevin Holland to take this one here. It's not my most confident fucking pick on the card. One of my least confident, to be honest with you, just because Kevin Holland, you don't know what the fuck's going to happen, but you also kind of do. I think that Kevin Holland might just out-tough him and outwork him over the course of 3 rounds. I say a 29-28, all right? So moving on up next here, man, to Mario bitch ass Bautista. He's going to be taking on Patchy Mix. Now, am I fucking missing something? Because the last time I checked, Patchy Mix was the favorite, and now it says he's like a huge underdog. Hold up, let me fucking check this real quick. Nah, dude, ESPN is trying to fuck with me, all right? Because I could have swore that Patchy Mix is the favorite, and he is. I just confirmed on DraftKings, and yes, Patchy Mix is the slight favorite here, and that's going to be my pick to win this one, okay? I actually had Mario Bautista to beat Chito Vera. That was the original fight for this card, and I thought that was a solid scrap. It made sense for Bautista, even though it fucking pains us to see him moving up in the rankings. It did make sense. Honestly, I did think he was going to win that one, but Patchy Mix, all things considered here, I really do think he's going to be able to get this one done, okay? He's got really good submission entries, okay? And in general, like, he's just a fucking demon on the ground. He's going to be really dangerous for a lot of guys in the rankings. And in general, Mario Bautista is solidly well-rounded, all right? He is a good fighter. As painful as it fucking is, in the last performance against Aldo was goddamn embarrassing. It was painful for the fucking fans, and Zahabi went out there and showed that he can actually be the same version of Aldo and doesn't have to just smudge fest him against the fence. Doesn't have to actually just coast out the clock. All that bullshit for the fans. Fuck that, man. So Mario Bautista, man, I mean, the 15-2 record, the solid win streak he's on right now, the guy is well-rounded. He's got solid striking. I mean, not crazy finishing potential really on the feet or on the ground, but it's there. You know what I mean? More so if it's not, or more so than not, his fights are decisions, but the finishing ability is there. You know, he can crack once in a while, and he can get submissions here once in a while, but in general, man, the grappling's solid, cardio is solid, fight IQ, sadly, is solid, but there's nothing in Mario Bautista's skill set that really stands out to me as too crazy. Now, don't get me wrong, right? I could totally see him getting this one done. I could totally see a world, maybe it is a smudge fest. Maybe it is just him outworking and outpiecing the fuck out of Patchy Mix on the feet, because Patchy Mix's grappling is really fucking good, has dangerous submission game in general, and I feel like he will definitely be able to take down Bautista a couple of times, but the weakness in Mix's game, and don't get me wrong, 20-1 record, former Bellator champion, like, the guy is legit as fuck. I think he'll go far here, but the weakness here is his striking, okay? Like, I feel like he lacks a bit of that just one-shot KO power. Like, yes, once in a while he will get a knockout, but Patchy Mix isn't a big power puncher, okay? And his style on the feet is a bit unorthodox. Like, it's a bit awkward, I guess I should say. You know what I mean? And it's hard for guys to really figure it out and adjust to it. But still, it's nothing that's too crazy or too powerful. And Bautista rising up the ranks right now, you know, and he, again, solid win streak. He's kind of been dealing with a lot of adversity on and off in his fights. He's got solidly high output as well. And Patchy Mix, again, it is kind of hard to crack him. It's hard to just beat the guy in general or really kind of outstrike him or whatever the fuck, because his grappling is that good and he's really good at mixing it up. But man, I feel like I could see a world where if Bautista really is going out there and trying to make a fucking statement and gets the fuck after it, all right, putting the goddamn pedal to the metal, I could see him going out there and maybe getting a decision win here. But if you're going, and Bautista was prepping for a full-fledged striker like Chito Vera, I feel like he's going to be ready for, and I don't rate Chito Vera too highly, as y'all know, but in general, like, I feel like he was preparing for a little bit of a stand and bang kind of war there. Maybe Bautista was prepared to be the one to shoot a few takedowns and try and get the fight to the mat. It is really hard to take down Chito, but you know what I mean. Patchy Mix, it's a whole different stylistic matchup here. I'm going to be really curious to see how Bautista handles it, man, because Mix is going out there, and usually these Bellator guys that are getting these kind of, I don't want to say like top dog spots, because this is a bit of a step down usually compared to what the Bellator guys get, but this is honestly a great matchup. It makes sense for Mix's entry debut into the UFC. I feel like Bautista's ranked like somewhere between 8 and 10. Perfect. That makes total fucking sense. I feel like it'd be more backwards if he was getting like a Corey Sandhager or some shit. You know what I mean? So I do like this matchmaking. I do totally think it's winnable for both, and you could argue that these two kind of have edges over the other here, but I'm going to trust in the elite grappling and the high level experience. He has great cardio as well, awkward style on the feet. I'm going to be trusting in Patchy Mix to get this one done. Like I'm saying, these Bellator guys, they usually do well in these kind of scenarios for their UFC debut. The UFC kind of knows what they're doing with the matchmaking as well here, all right? Maybe they're trying to literally get Bautista the fuck out of here, but who the hell knows? They were also giving him Chito Vera, who was right outside the top 5, so clearly fucking not, you know what I mean? But Patchy Mix, I'm going to trust in the skill set. I think he's going to be able to outwork Bautista, hang in there on the feet. He's clearly, I feel like, going to be able to take his biggest shots. If Bautista wins this one, it's going to be some kind of decision, you know what I mean? And his defensive grappling is good enough to where maybe he can efficiently get back up to the feet enough and kind of make it a stand and bang, little bit of a battle there against Mix, and maybe that's going to favor him. But in general, Patchy Mix, I feel like he's legit as fuck. I feel like his skill set's really good. Is he going to become the champion? I don't think so. Will he get a title shot? Fucking maybe, but that 20-1 record, and from everything I've seen out of Mix and everything I've seen out of Bautista, they're both good fighters, but I feel like Mix is a little bit of that level above, and I think he's going to go out there and show it. How does he get it done? I don't know, man. Maybe some kind of submission or decision here, but I'm going to be going with Patchy Mix to get it done. Batista's a good fighter. I could totally see him getting it done. He's a very slight underdog, but man, I'm going with Mix. My gut is telling me it, and my mind is telling me it, and let's hope that he fucking finishes him, dude. Let's hope he gets Bautista the fuck out of here. You're getting back to the fucking apex, buddy, all right? Fuck out of here, man. Moving on up next. That's going to age so terribly. If Bautista goes out there and wins, bro, I swear to God. Moving on up next to the featured fight for this card, Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. Boys, it was fun knowing Gastelum. All right, Jesus Christ. I know we say that in a solid amount of Gastelum fights, but man, they're feeding him to the fucking wolves here, okay? Gastelum, he's not getting any younger, okay? And granted, he's only 33, so he is technically in his prime, as crazy as that is to fucking say, but Gastelum, man, he just has so much experience, especially at like a high level. He's been dealing with these kind of positions where he's facing either prospects or guys in the rankings, or even the fucking Adesanya. This guy got a title shot at one point, you know what I mean? So Gastelum has taken so much damage over the years. I don't think his chin is where it used to be. He is durable as fuck, don't get me wrong. Like, the guy can fucking take a shot. He has a solid chin, but he's also just so beatable at the same fucking time, man. Whether it be on the ground, like, he can get submitted. If it's on the feet, like, he can get out fucking worked, out fucking pieced up. I know that Gastelum has never been finished on the feet, okay? He's been knocked down a couple of times, yes, but in general, like, it's really hard to finish Gastelum on the feet. But looking at this state he's in his career, like I said, I don't think his skill set is anything too crazy, and Pyfer cracks like a motherfucker. I'm just going to be going with Joe Pyfer here, man. Even if it's not by knockout. Because, again, Gastelum's never been finished on the feet. Yes, he can get submitted, but I don't think Pyfer, even if he is developing in the ground game department, I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy to submit Gastelum. Fucking maybe, you know what I mean? But if I think Pyfer's going to get this done, which I do, I think he'll be able to beat Gastelum here. I think it's going to be a 30-27 decision. I think Pyfer is going to be kind of controlling wherever the fight fucking goes. I think he's going to be controlling the pace, putting on a solid pace from the start as well. Gastelum, he knows how to be in a dogfight scenario. He's had some here and there, don't get me wrong. Like, he is a fucking dog, man. He knows how to hang, but he's fucking beatable, man. And there's nothing in his skill set that's too crazy here. And Joe Pyfer developing in the grappling a little bit, okay? Learning from the Jack Hermanson loss over the past couple of years. We haven't seen him back in action too much, but again, this guy has devastating knockout power. I feel like he was just one of the guys where he was like thrown to the wolves a bit early on, a little bit too fucking rushed. Maybe not. Maybe Hermanson really just did school the fuck out of him and show a huge experience gap. But when you have guys like that, Sean Brady was in a similar position as well, not to the same context, but he was able to really learn a lot from that loss to Bilal Muhammad and really like recover and just gain a lot of experience and just made all the necessary improvements and made his grappling even more dominant, made his striking even more improved. And Pyfer trains with Brady a lot. They're from the same team. You gotta assume that Pyfer, they're probably treating him in similar regards to where they're prepping him to the areas where he was the weakest, you know what I mean? Improving the cardio a little bit, improving the fight IQ a little bit, being able to kind of hold on there as the fight progresses and be able to still be in it on the feet. Again, improving in the grappling departments, offensively and defensively. And the guy's 28, so he's just kind of entering his prime here. He's going to have the clear height and reach advantage here. The guy is fucking big, and I just think he's going to go out there, and again, might not necessarily knock out Gastelum, but I think he's just going to be able to outwork him, set a pretty solid pace from the start, is going to be looking to take his lights out. I think that he could be the first one to do it, but even if he doesn't, man, like Pyfer, he's a good fucking striker. He's got good finishing ability. If he's continuing to improve, man, and this fight will say a lot, I guess, not even too much. It's Kelvin fucking Gastelum at the end of the day, and Pyfer's like a minus 400 favorite, but you know what I'm saying. Gastelum is solid, has a shit ton of experience. He knows how to take a goddamn punch, and he knows how to bring a good pace as well, but his striking is just kind of His grappling is just kind of The cardio is just kind of You know what I mean? Well, I shouldn't say that, but you know what I'm saying, man. So Joe Pyfer, I just feel like is going to be able to control this one, kind of wherever the fight goes. Gastelum, I just don't seen him getting it done. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's just gonna get outworked and out fucking dogged. And Pyfer is young, hungry, 13-3 record. Again, is gonna have the clear size advantage here, and he's just gonna be quicker in there. He's just gonna fucking hit harder, and I feel like he has a lot more to prove and a lot more to earn. He's definitely gonna get a shot in the rankings if he wins this one. You know what I mean? And you know what? As he fucking should probably. So I'm gonna be going with Joe Pyfer to get this one done. I feel like this fight, it's crazy that this is the featured fight of the pay-per-view, but you know what? It is a solid scrap regardless. I'm kind of glad it did get rebooked. Just kind of bizarre that this is the fucking feature fight of the pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It is what it is, brother. So moving on up next to the co-main event, man. All right, we got Juliana Peña taking on Kayla Harrison. I don't have too much to say about this one, but I'm just gonna say this. This is an S-tier WMMA scrap. I'm gonna be fucking honest. In terms of women's MMA, especially over the past couple of years, man, we've seen kind of a big decline. The champions barely fucking fight. When they do, it's a bit of smudge fest at times, or just a bit of boring performances. Shout out Zhang Weili. Absolutely fucking love Zhang Weili. She's a fucking badass. I appreciate her, but you know what I'm saying. The state of a lot of these divisions for the women's divisions, especially since Nunes left, it's been a bit bone dry, man. All right, so with this one, this is absolutely, I feel like, as good as it gets, because I feel like it's going to be a fun fight to watch, and these ladies are actually talking a bunch of shit to each other. They're making the build-up exciting. Dude, I took time out of my fucking day yesterday. If you asked me this a year ago, I would have said fucking never, all right? But I took the time out of my day, and I was watching, like, the 10 or 12-minute interview, whatever the fuck they did, kind of going back and forth with each other, whatever. And even for, like, the press conference, when O'Malley had nothing to fucking say, and Merab is being all Merab and shit on stage. Hey, you know, I am not too motivated for this fight. I think that O'Malley is going to stop a lot of my takedowns. These ladies were actually going up there and talking a bunch of shit to each other, really trying to sell the fight. Man, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't getting me fucking excited for it. And y'all know me on the channel. I barely know dick about WMMA. Don't always have too much to say about it. But man, in terms of this co-main bantamweight women's title spot being up for grabs here, man, I feel like this is as good as it gets. It's stylistically going to be, I feel like, a really fun fight. Peña, she can be very sloppy at times, okay? Her technique isn't anything too crazy. She's got solid striking, got solid grappling, okay? And she knows how to set a really heavy pace. She's pretty well-rounded. But honestly, man, like, she's a fucking dog in there. She knows how to handle in a dogfight scenario. And Kayla Harrison, I want to see if she's going to be able to hang with the pace that Peña is going to set. Because I feel like Peña is trying to get the fuck after it from the start here, set a heavy pace. I don't know if these guys are going to be looking for a finish very early on, but maybe it'll just happen. If this fight does end in a finish, I feel like it might be closer to championship rounds, because Kayla Harrison, she is good, okay? We all know how good the judo is. We all know how good she mixes it up. She's got really good grappling in general, and her striking is fucking solid. She's got solid pop behind her shots, man. But in the 18-1 record, like, she's barely fucking losing, and Peña's 13-5 and has been really inactive over like the past few years. So it's just like, Harrison, I still don't think that she's anything too crazy. Like, who the fuck did she face in her last performance? Was it Caitlin Vieira? Like, yeah, she went out there and beat the fuck out of an old Holly Holm. Don't get me wrong, that was a good debut, but I think it was Caitlin Vieira, whatever the fuck. But man, she was kind of giving her problems at times. Like, it wasn't exactly the domination fest that we thought it was going to be. And Peña went out there, and I do think that Raquel Pennington, off the top of my mind, again, fucking work with me here, y'all, but off the top of my mind, I did think that Pennington did win that fight 3-2, but they gave the decision to Peña. It is what it fucking is. I can see it in retrospect, but at the end of the day, Peña is being very fucking slept on here. I'm going to be honest. Like, the fact that she's a plus 450, I feel like it's kind of ridiculous, because I could totally see her winning this one. My prediction, I'm gonna go with Kayla Harrison, but I'd be fucking lying if I wasn't really inclined to go with Juliana Peña. I really can see her getting it done. I feel like she is solidly well-rounded enough, good enough fighter for the bantamweight division here, to where, like, I can see her winning this one. The betting odds are a bit ridiculous, and I barely see anybody that's picking her, you know what I mean? And look at the fan poll that you see on your screen and shit. Like, most people are going with Harrison, a lot of the analysts, fucking everybody, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, there's just something in my gut that feels like Peña could totally win this one and might win this one, but I'm going to trust in the skill set of Harrison. Like, I feel like it's been a long time coming over the past few years, even when she was in the PFL. Like, people were just talking about, when is this girl going to become the UFC champion? When is she going to get here and face the Peñas and face the Nunes and all that shit? So this is the moment she's been fucking preparing for years and years. And I know the weight cut is absolutely fucking brutal for her. I feel like that could be a definite factor as well. And Peña is pretty used to this at this fucking point. She's not as big or as much of a fucking unit as Harrison is. But man, I want to go with Peña. I'm inclined to, but I'm going to trust in the skill set and the credibility and the experience. I mean, both these ladies kind of have high-level experience, but I'm going to be going with Kayla Harrison to get this one done. I say a decision. Maybe like a 48-47 or some shit. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be going with Harrison to get this one done. And moving on, baby, to the highly but not highly anticipated main event of the evening. We got Dvalishvili taking on Sean O'Malley. I'm going with Sean O'Malley. And I've kind of been feeling this way for the past month or two, man, all right? Now, for the first fight for this one, man, everybody likes to talk about how it was way closer of a fight than people remember, man. And Sean O'Malley almost had the cardio machine, Dvalishvili, out of there in the 5th round. And yes, that's true as fuck. And yes, he did take 2 rounds off of Merab. But the thing is, Merab clearly did win that fight, boys. All right, let's just cut the bullshit here, okay? And especially now everybody's hopping on the Merab train, all right? Hey, thank you guys so very much. You are all invited to my Xbox Live party afterwards. Dude, I'm telling you, I appreciate that Merab is gaining a lot of hype and is the bantamweight GOAT, okay? And is gaining a lot of traction and fans. And his skill set, man, it's fucking kind of as good as ever here. O'Malley, I feel like, has a lot more room to improve. Whereas Merab, I feel like you're kind of seeing maybe not a lot more room to improve. But you know what I'm saying? There's going to be tweaks and adjustments that he's going to make over the next few years, let alone over the past few months for this fight. But Merab, I feel like you're seeing the peak version of him, okay? When he was going out there and beating Sean O'Malley in the first fight, like I'm talking about, and he was going out there and beating Umar, okay? This whole run he's been on over the past few years, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we're now finally witnessing, okay? He's 34 or 35 years old, Merab, and I feel like we are seeing the peak version of him. So if there is a time where Merab is going to go out there and beat Sean O'Malley again, it is now, okay? The 35-year-old curse don't fucking apply to him yet, and honestly, he's such a fucking tank of a human being, all right? Once of these, he's like a Yuri Prohajka or Alexander Volkanovski. He's one of these kind of 1 in a fucking billion kind of personalities and people. Maybe not personalities, Jesus Christ, all right? Get this guy away from a mic most of the time, but you know what I'm fucking saying, all right? In terms of just the cardio, man, it's something we've never fucking seen before. This guy is going out there and look like the 5th round alone against Umar, man, just shooting a bunch of takedowns for the fuck of it, just to mix it up, just to throw Umar off of his game, just to go out there and exhaust him. Because when you have to be kind of constantly ready to defend the takedowns, even if Merab is half-assing them, it's something that these guys have to think about, okay? From the start of the fight to the finish, man, Merab, he's got solid output on the feet, and I feel like the striking, let's cut the bullshit here. It's nothing too crazy, especially in terms of being a champion, especially for the lighter weight classes. Merab striking, it isn't all that, man, okay? But it is solid enough to where, man, he was getting into the pocket with Umar. He was landing pretty fucking clean at times, okay? And that strike, or his striking in that performance, and I rate Umar's striking pretty highly, man. It stood fucking out to me. You know what I'm saying, man? Umar's dynamic as fuck with the kicks. He's got solid pop behind his shots, knows how to mix it up really well. And for Merab to go out there and just kind of piece him up a bit, man, and was landing clean with the right hook. He was not afraid to get into the pocket with him. He was landing kind of clean with Umar, not afraid to take his biggest shots. I would say the same with O'Malley, but I feel like he was a lot more kind of focused on getting the fight to the ground against O'Malley. And that's the thing I got to talk about for this rematch. Merab is going out there and has openly said that, hey, I think that Sean O'Malley is going to adjust a lot. I'm not going to do the impression. He's going out there and he's saying that he's going to adjust a lot and he's going to be a lot more ready for Sean O'Malley to be able to stuff a lot of his takedowns, or most of them. So it's dude, He's going out there and he's saying that he's prepared for a striking battle. He's prepared to stand and bang with O'Malley, make it a bit of a more entertaining fight than the fucking first one. Man, I don't think that's a good decision for him. Okay, I think this guy has to be fucking mentally ready. Yes, he has to be mentally ready to be able to stand and bang with O'Malley, because if O'Malley really does stuff a lot of the takedowns, he doesn't want to be a lost fucking child out there looking for the mom in the mall type shit. You know what I'm saying? So Merab does have to be ready to face an improved O'Malley. He has to be ready to face an O'Malley who's probably most fucking likely, especially with all the lifestyle changes we've been seeing out of O'Malley and shit like that. He's got to be ready for an O'Malley to come in there at his best version. He knows what O'Malley wants to do, all right? Stuff a lot of the takedowns, most of them, and then if the fight does get to the ground, O'Malley's going to want to efficiently get the fuck back up, all right, as quickly as he can. Maybe someone where JDM, even though he was stuffing a lot of the takedowns against Belal, when Belal actually got him down, JDM was efficient as fuck with getting back to his feet. I feel like that's what O'Malley's approach is kind of going to be for this fight, all right? When the fight is playing out in the feet, make the fucking most of it. Try and be precise as fuck. Try and be clean as fuck and land all the right shots. And try and maybe not even force the power combinations to where he's trying to knock out, because yes, O'Malley does have one-shot KO power, but also sometimes he does rely a bit more on the combinations to really knock people out, you know what I'm saying, and land the TKOs, outvalue them, you know what I mean? O'Malley in general has a really high output on the feet, so, and man, O'Malley's striking in general, in my humble fucking opinion, listen, I rate Jan's striking highly, I rate Sandhagen striking highly, Umar striking highly. In my opinion, Sean O'Malley is the best striker at bantamweight, keeping all that into account, okay? I just think that in general for the UFC pound for pound, he might be one of the best strikers that we have right now, if not the best striker. I don't necessarily think he's the best, but I'd have to fucking think about it. But dude, across all weight classes, man, O'Malley is almost as good as it fucking gets in terms of the striking. So for Merab, yes, he does have to be prepared to be able to hang in the feet with Sean O'Malley. He's got to be ready for that shit, okay? Like I'm saying, if it's similar to how the JDM approach was, okay, he's gonna have to go out there. O'Malley, I'm talking about now, and he's gonna have to be prepared. Okay, if Merab's getting me down, I gotta get up now, okay? I'm not taking this to the fucking judges' scorecards, okay? I'm not letting this dude rack up the control time. I'm not letting him ragdoll me around. I gotta get the fuck up. You gotta assume that's what they're preparing for. I just saw Merab is injured as well, but I don't even really want to count that as much as well because Merab was hurt for the Umar fight and he absolutely fucking won that 1-3-2 and made a great performance. And in general, like you gotta assume that O'Malley, he's gone into fights injured before. Merab, he's gone into fights injured before. So both those guys know what it's like. I'm not really taking that too much into consideration, but all these little things, they are a little bit of the reason why I'm going to be going with Sean O'Malley. But the big thing is, man, you're giving this guy 25 more minutes to work. That's the thing that really fucking stands out to me, okay? I think that we saw the best version of Merab at Noche UFC, and I think that we still saw a solid version of Sean O'Malley show up, arguably one of his better versions, but I don't think I mean, obviously not in terms of the results or really how he looked, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not just going to go out there and just because the guy lost, okay, just say that he absolutely looked like shit, and that clearly wasn't himself. Man, he still took 2 rounds off Merab. It was still a good Sean O'Malley that showed up in that fight, but Merab was just the better man that night, all right? He was out fucking dogging him, ragdolling him on the ground, okay? He was able to take that brutal fucking knee from Sean O'Malley in the 5th round. He was able to hang with Sean O'Malley's biggest shots. And man, Merab was just the better fucking man that night. But here we are now, a few months later. He's going out there, Merab, and he did have that Umar fight, which is absolutely great for him. Really cemented himself as the bantamweight GOAT, and it was great experience. But Sean O'Malley has been doing nothing but just preparing in the meantime here. And with 25 more minutes to work, to really work on the grappling in the meantime as well, okay? Really work on the defensive side of things. I just think that he will be able to find the right shot this time, okay? I feel like he's going to be able to move the fuck forward a little better here, be a bit more of the pressure fighter here. Merab in the first fight, he did it so well to where he was just controlling the flow of the fight, man. Whether the fight was on the feet or was on the ground, like, he really was kind of setting the high pace. He really was kind of dictating where it went and when, you know what I mean? It was on his fucking terms. That's what I was saying, man. Like, yes, it was a close fight, but not really at the same time. Merab did clearly win the fight. O'Malley had good moments, won a couple of rounds, but man, Merab clearly took that one. But now here we are later, and I just think that O'Malley, with the 25 more minutes to work, being one of the best strikers in the UFC, having really good combinations, really good head movement, footwork, his high output and high volume, but a lot of power to go with it, lands all the right shots, and I just think that he will be able to crack Merab this time. It might not be in the first round, might not be in the second round, might not be in the third, but I'm going with a 4th round TKO here for Sean O'Malley. I think that he's going to be prepared to kind of let Merab set the pace pretty early on, which Merab is going to do. Like I said, he's got fantastic fucking cardio, okay? And while his striking is mid as fuck, all right, especially for being a champion, the wrestling is good. Not the craziest wrestler we've ever fucking seen, but to ragdoll Henry Cejudo, to be able to stuff a lot of the fucking takedowns from Umar and take his ass down a few times, and Umar's wrestling is fucking good, to be able to ragdoll O'Malley, to be able to 50-45 Piotr Jan, and Jan is really fucking well-rounded. Jan's a fantastic striker, but the dude knows how to mix it up, okay? He had to turn to a wrestler against Sean O'Malley. That's a whole testament to how good O'Malley's striking is, but in general, Merab's wrestling and his cardio combined, you want to talk about a fusion dance, it's a dangerous fucking combination, man. It's the reason why he's the champion and why he's been such a problem for guys. So Murad Dvalishvili, there's a total good reason why he's the favorite here. He beat O'Malley in the first fight. O'Malley hasn't proved dick to us in the meantime. Just besides, like, again, he's quitting social media, quitting pot, quitting fucking. So all that shit is going to be good for him and his mentality. But there's a reason why Merab's the favorite, okay? Like, he's on top of the fucking world right now. He's the bantamweight GOAT. And by all means, he should win this fight. Murad Dvalishvili should be able to take this one. Don't get me fucking wrong, okay? Even if it's a slightly injured Merab or the best version of Sugar we've ever fucking seen. Whatever the fuck. there's a reason why Merab's the favorite, and most people are going with him, and he should get this one done. But man, in my humble fucking opinion, I'm gonna be going with Sean O'Malley here just because I think 4th round TKO, man. I just think he's too fucking elusive on the feet. He's quick as fuck up there. And if the fight really does play out this time a lot more on the feet than the first one, that adds even more into what I'm saying about just giving more time for O'Malley to find all the right shots. He's very fucking precise of a striker, very accurate, very slick, and it's hard to go out there and outstrike him and outpoint him and out fucking dog him in terms of just a striking battle alone. So if Merab isn't able to really set the high pace and really be able to just control the fight on the ground or really mix it up efficiently, and if he's afraid or not afraid to get in the pocket like he was with Umar Nurmagomedov, I feel like that might not work out as well for him this time around. Umar has fantastic fucking striking, don't get me wrong. But Sean O'Malley here, man, I think a thing that's going to help him too here, not just landing clean to the head, but landing to the fucking body. Really trying to mix it up, land clean to the body there. I think that's going to be making Merab a bit uncomfortable. I feel like by the time you get to those championship rounds, it's going to kind of add up because O'Malley hits fucking hard. He's very precise, and if he's landing clean to the head, landing clean to the body, okay, throwing in a few leg kicks there as well. Like, I'm telling you, I see a 4th round TKO here. It's unlikely, don't get me wrong, but I'm solidly confident in it to where O'Malley, I rate his striking very highly. And at the same time, I rate Merab's wrestling and cardio very highly as well. If Merab goes out there, man, and really is just setting a high pace that maybe O'Malley can't handle, and maybe the grappling hasn't fucking improved as much as I'm assuming, okay? Maybe he's not going to be as prepared as I fucking think. Again, all the more reason as to why Merab is almost a minus 300 favorite and most people are going with him. Because, man, the wrestling is that good. The cardio is that good. The guy lacks finishing ability, but in general, this could be his fight. But I'm going to be going with Sean O'Malley to take this one done by a 4th round TKO, boys. And that is going to be it here, man. Okay, now it is time for the blanks of the card here. We got underdog of the card, locks of the card, wild card of the card, and my card rating, okay? All of them are self-explanatory, but I'll get to it as I get to it. Just starting off with the underdog of the card here, okay? Which underdog pick am I going with that I'm the most confident in here? The only underdogs I think I went with are Sean O'Malley and Waldo Cortes-Acosta. I'm going to go with Cortes-Acosta, okay? I'm not like crazy confident in either of them, but I'm also solidly confident at the same time. But O'Malley, I think it's just slightly a bit more maybe of a reach. And again, he's a plus 250, whereas Cortes-Acosta is like a plus 110. He's barely a fucking underdog. So yes, I do think both guys will get it done. I can clearly fucking see it. But I think O'Malley is just a bit of a riskier pick, whereas Cortes-Acosta, I feel like I'm just a bit more realistic. I mean, I'm realistic with both of them, but you know what I'm fucking saying. So Cortes-Acosta is going to be my underdog of the card here, okay? I think he's going to be able to beat up Sergey Spivac there. Moving on to my locks of the card, okay? Which fighters on the card do I think are fucking locks, okay? And I don't think these motherfuckers are losing. Joe Pyfer, I immediately got to put on there, okay? Joe Pyfer for sure. Joshua Van, my boy Joshua Van, get him the fuck on there. Azamat Murzakanov, okay, got to throw Murzakanov on there as well. Do I see any more? I mean, I could throw Salkilld on here, but you know what? I'm not going to. I'll just stick with the 3 ones I got. Because Salkilld, I do think he's really good, and he's going to be able to beat up Ashmouz, but maybe I can see Ashmouz getting that one done. You know what I mean? So my locks are the card here, boys. I don't think these motherfuckers are losing, all right? Azamat Murzakanov to beat Brendan Ribeiro. Joshua Van to beat Bruno Silva. And, what was the other fucking one I said? And Joe Pyfer to beat Kelvin Gastelum here. Those are going to be my 3 locks of the card. Moving on now to the wild card of the card. It's someone who I feel like is being pretty overlooked or maybe overshadowed, and I feel like they totally can fucking get it done and really shake up the rankings or the division, yada yada yada. I'm going with Juliana Peña. Okay, there's actually a few I can go with on this card. Like maybe I could say O'Malley, maybe I could see Mario Bautista, some shit like that. Okay, but I'm gonna be going with Juliana Peña. I really do think I can really see her getting it done, and I think she is being pretty overlooked. But man, I could totally fucking see her shaking out the world here. And unfortunately, we might get the fucking Nunes trilogy or something after that. But it is what it is. I see Peña maybe getting it done, but she's being heavily overlooked, and it is kind of doubtable to where, yeah, I'll put her as the wild card of the card. I can see her shaking it up. And moving on now to the card rating. What am I going to rate this bad boy from 1 to 10, the full card here? 1 being about as bad as a card fucking possibly gets. Okay, some shallow-ass, empty-ass, terrible Apex card. A 5 is like a neutral. It's like there's good fights, there's bad fights, could be better. It's like a neutral card, like an average, you know what I'm saying? And a 10 is like a UFC 300. It's like as good as it fucking gets, okay? I hope that helps put things into perspective. You know what? I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 6 out of 10, okay? I want to maybe go a little bit lower here because it is a pay-per-view. For pay-per-view standards, again, it's nothing too crazy. It could be better. The early prelims and some of the prelims are kind of lacking that depth, but I feel like once you get to Spivac versus Acosta, you're kind of getting good fight after good fight after good fight here, you know what I'm saying? Again, some of them could be way fucking better, like Holland and Luque and Pyfer and Gastelum being on a pay-per-view here and they want our $80. I feel like I get that's why a lot of people are shitting on this pay-per-view here. I totally understand it, okay? And the title fights in general, like, they're solid, but also nothing too crazy at the same time. So in general, I'm going to put a little bit of respect in this card. A little bit of love for this card, because I do think it's good. I think the matchmaking for the most part is pretty solid. I feel like the fights, even if they aren't the most high stakes, for some of them, I feel like are going to play out pretty fun. I feel like we're going to see a solid amount of finishes or a solid amount of bangers. I'm going to be giving this one a 6 out of 10, man, okay? Like, I'm cool with it, but I just know that, like, there's better pay-per-views out there, or there's better pay-per-views that could have been done, you know, but for what it is, and for how shallow or the month of May was, I'll happily fucking take this shit to kick off June, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, boys, and that is going to be it here, man. Thank you so very much for making this far into the Yap session, boys. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you for giving me your time and attention. Please give this video a like. Please hit subscribe, man. We just hit 1,000 subs a couple of weeks ago, so I endlessly appreciate it. Appreciate y'all a lot, man. Have a good time watching the fights this weekend, man. Enjoy your joint, enjoy your drinks. If you're going to watch it solo or watch it with your buddies, I hope you have a good fucking time, man, okay? Enjoy the fights, man. Appreciate y'all. All the smoke here. Have a good one, boys, and I will see you all next time.